Star Wars The Phantom Menace, first one of the prequels, was released on May 19th, 1999. The budget for the movie, $115 million. The box office was just over $1 billion worldwide. I have 7 statements here. Lan and Frank are going to have to guess whether or not that statement is fact or it is fiction. This one specifically for Lan, fact or fiction. We saw this in the movie theater together.
Fiction. That was not me. That was a clone.
Oh, shut up. Yeah, we did. I remember seeing this waiting in line. And I specifically, for some reason, remember there was this couple in front of us who had like tented out in line. Like they had a tent and they had like a little portable speaker. And I just remember all they played was Everlast Sings the Blues or Whitey Ford Sings the Blues.
Whitey Ford Sings the Blues.
Blew my mind. All right, here we go. Number 1. Fact or fiction, the original trailer was so hyped, fans paid full price for movies just to see the trailer. Frank.
That's fact.
Lan.
Didn't we do that? Fact. Absolutely.
It is a fact. We didn't do that, but I do remember trying to download the trailer on more than one occasion. And I would only get to the one point where it would show the droid tanks for the battle on Naboo. And then it would just stop downloading. Because, I mean, the bandwidth wasn't there to download that stuff, at least the setup that I had at the time. But in 1998, when the first Phantom Menace trailer dropped, fans bought movie tickets to other movies like Meet Joe Black. Just to see the trailer, and some left right after the trailer played, making it one of the most hyped previews of all time. And this begs the question, was Phantom Menace the last time a trailer felt like a cultural event?
Yeah. I remember the stories like when like the box office came out for that weekend and Meet Joe Black was like almost number 1 or was like way and the critics didn't expect it and they were like, what the hell? They didn't, it wasn't that good of a movie. Why would people go? And then they realized people got heard or got a rumor that the trailer was played, so they'd buy tickets for Meet Joe Black, and then like half the theater would empty out for Meet Joe Black because they just wanted to see the trailer.
Do you remember what some
trailer?
Do you remember what some of the other movies that showed the trailer were?
It's 1998.
There was a kids movie, wasn't there?
Yeah.
And I think that's what what I heard mostly people went to go see.
The 3 main ones that I've always heard, Meet Joe Black is the big one, because that's the one where it was like, oh my God, like, how did this movie do so well? And that was why. The Siege.
Okay.
And the Water Boy.
Oh, but that was a great movie.
It was. And actually, quick side note here about the Water Boy. That's the first time I remember being in a movie theater where people were cheering. It was randomly we went to go see the Water Boy opening weekend. It might have been opening night. And I remember because this was before, for all you young kids out there, you used to just have to show up and find a seat. You couldn't pick your seat ahead of time. So we ended up
a lot of fights.
Yeah, we ended up way at the front. And I remember at the end in that final game when he's just wrecking shop and he's destroying people. I specifically remember the movie theater just going berserk. It was great.
Now everybody yells chicken jockey and throws live chickens around in a theater.
Yeah.
You guys were weak back then. What are you talking about?
Fact or fiction, E.T.'s alien species appears in the Phantom Menace Senate scene. Frank.
Is it in episode 1 or episode 3?
You tell us.
I'm going to go, damn. I'm going to, I know they do, but I think it's episode 3, so I'm going to go fiction.
Lan?
It is fact.
Lan gets the point. Yes.
I knew they were in there. I couldn't remember which one.
Yep, it's a blink and you'll miss it kind of a moment. But the group of aliens from do you know what the planet's called?
Extra testicle.
Home.
Brodo Asogi.
Reese's.
Appears in the Galactic Senate Chamber. It's George Lucas paying homage to his buddy Steven Spielberg, officially tying Star Wars and E.T. in the same universe. And if you know about this as well, In E.T., there's a kid wearing a Yoda costume on Halloween.
Ooh.
Boomsies. Next up.
And then E.T. recognizes him. Remember, when he walks up to him, like,
Yeah.
"What's up, man? Didn't know you were here too. High five."
It's all a part of the same universe, man.
Reese's back home.
What would you do if a Star Wars movie comes out and Reese's Pieces show up?
That'd be cool.
I would hope they would have an action figure because I would buy it.
This is making me want. I'd love Reese's Pieces, dude.
Yeah. Especially on ice cream. Especially on a blizzard.
Oh my god.
huh?
All right, next up. Fact or fiction? Darth Maul's double-bladed lightsaber was originally blue. Lan.
Fiction.
Frank?
I'll go fact just for fun.
Lan gets the point. It is fiction. While concept art for the Phantom Menace explored various colors, Darth Maul's saber was always going to be red, reinforcing his connection to the dark side. It was the first time a double-bladed lightsaber had been seen on screen, though the idea had actually appeared earlier in comics. The reveal of the second blade in the trailer became one of the film's most iconic moments.
Can I say
that was
something?
cool.
That
Absolutely.
They completely messed up by revealing the second blade on the trailer.
Yeah. It was cool in the theater, but had we not already seen it, it would have been that much cooler.
Yeah.
So it makes me think, is the second blade being revealed, is that kind of the biggest oh shit moment from Phantom Menace?
That was for me.
Or actually, no, I take it back. Not just Phantom Menace. From the entire prequel trilogy.
No.
What would be your biggest kind of like, oh, damn.
The younglings.
Oh, yeah. Master Skywalker, what are we going to do?
Hey, come on, man! He friggin' murdered a classroom full of kids.
Have you seen the footage of people watching the movie in the theater now, and they're like, they're out loud voicing what the kid says, and then when he goes, boom, they're all cheering and stuff. Like, good God, man. Next up. Fact or fiction, Liam Neeson's role as Qui-Gon Jinn was a major reason the movie went over budget. Frank.
Yeah, because that man loves his money.
Lan.
Fiction.
Frank gets the point
Oh.
because it is a fact, but it wasn't necessarily his salary. The sets for Qui-Gon were built larger than needed to accommodate his height. He's 6'4".
That tall Irishman.
This resulted in increased construction costs, literally thousands of dollars more just to raise doorways and ceiling heights.
Did you ever see the interview he gave when they were?
They're talking
gender
about salaries, and they were like,
with
"Would you be
pay?"
willing to
And
give
they're
up some of yours?" He's all, "No."
He's like, well, like, and he's like, they're like, well, you know, the women think they should be paid more, and he's like, yeah, I agree with that. And I go, so would you take a pay? No.
Yeah, would you take a pay cut? No. They used to play that on Dan Levitard all the time.
Like my man's like, yeah, I agree. They should get paid what they deserve. Oh, so you would take a pay cut? No.
Yeah.
No.
That was great.
Bye, Alan.
Oh, bye.
Oh no! That's all right. We'll get through this. Just stick it out, Lan. Fact or fiction? Anakin's pod race was inspired by illegal street races in the 1950s. Lan. I can't tell if he's thinking or not. Are you still there, buddy?
What the fuck, dude? Can you not hear me? I said fact.
Oh,
hear
no,
you now.
I couldn't hear you. Now we hear you. Yeah. Okay. So he
Okay.
said fact. All right, Frank. Fact or fiction?
Yeah, that's a fact.
No,
Oh.
that is fiction. George Lucas has said that the pod race was directly influenced by 1959's Ben-Hur, especially the pacing and camera angles. The pod race was one of the most technically complex sequences of the film, blending practical sound design and digital animation.
It's also pointless.
Next up.
Great picture.
I know, you never really realized just how fake this looked until you actually paused in on it. Fact or fiction, Darth Maul was originally going to survive the Phantom Menace and be a major villain throughout the prequel trilogy. Frank.
I'm just wondering, do you think his legs were still kicking as it was, because you know how like your body still can move, you know, you think they were still kicking on the way down?
Yes, I do.
Okay. I'm gonna go fiction on this.
Lan?
I'm gonna say fact.
Lan gets the point. It is a fact. In early drafts, Darth Maul was not going to be cut in half, though he was killed off in Phantom Menace. His popularity led to a surprise revival in future things like the Clone Wars, Rebels, eventually reappearing in Solo. So, should Maul have been the big bad throughout the sequels and instead of trying to bring in like Dooku and Grievous?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so. It was a cool character.
He was a cool character. Yeah, he was a really cool character.
Do you think one of the reasons that they were okay with killing him off is because there was like he only has one line in the entire movie, and
I think too.
Ray Park not known for his acting skills.
Yeah, but I mean, he didn't really have to do much. I mean, I think they even did a voiceover. I don't even think it was actually his voice in.
But I mean, that was the thing, though, right? It was like, how can they expand on this character if they can't really act?
But that's that
They
whole
give him one
universe,
line.
though. That whole universe has just random characters that just become cult icon, like
Well,
Boba
because
Fett.
George Lucas doesn't know how to write a script. That's why.
Well, Boba Fett was a cartoon character who became famous from that. What is it? The Christmas
holiday special.
Yeah,
And
from the
then,
Christmas
yeah,
holiday.
and he became so popular that they put him in Empire, and he just became because he died off super quick in Jedi. I mean,
It was
No,
literally
he lasted longer
allegedly.
than Darth Maul.
Yeah, it was literally was it Han Solo who swings the thing around and hits his
blindly
jetpack
and
and
actually
then,
hits him. Yeah,
which by the way,
Boba Fett, where?
Boba Fett. So mental note for any future Mandalorians out there, don't have a jetpack. Because I recently watched a thing about how, you know, it kind of looks like Jango Fett dies like a bitch in Attack of the Clones.
Yeah, pretty quick too.
So
But there's an extended scene to that.
and the one thing that it kind of explains is that he went to use his jetpack, but it was damaged from getting run over by one of those beasts. And so since he went to use it, he was stuck, and that caught him off guard, and that's when Mace Windu was able to, you know, give him one of those.
Decapitate.
Yeah.
I always think back to that final scene where Boba is holding his dad's head, and I just want his dad's head to fall out of his helmet.
Yeah, that wasn't
Oh,
that weird. Like,
no,
shouldn't
remember
have
the
rolled
head.
out?
If you, I believe. Now let me know in the comments if I'm wrong on this one. But I believe his head is not in the helmet
Oh.
because if you watch the shadows of that scene, it actually shows the head and the helmet as two separate things.
Interesting.
I think. Again, let me know in the comments. Like, I don't want to give misinformation. At least I try not to. By the way, the red stuff and steak's not blood. Next up, final one. Fact or fiction. Jake Lloyd, who played a young Anakin, quit acting after Phantom Menace because of the backlash. Lan.
Fact.
Frank.
I'm gonna go fact, but I thought he did a few other movies after that.
This is one of those kind of ones. Technically, I guess you could say it is a fact. Jake Lloyd faced intense bullying and media harassment after the movie's release, which led to him quitting acting altogether. Although his mom did speak out in 2024, and she stated that he quit acting because of family drama and that he was largely protected from the negativity surrounding his Star Wars role. However, he has since spoken out about the toll that it took on his mental health, reminding fans that actors, especially child actors, aren't responsible for scripts or edits. He would eventually be diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia in 2008, a condition his father's family has a history of battling.